On the news tonight, fuel subsidy tops agenda as President Tinubu meets governors of 26 states. Ikara indigents sue for peace in persistent chieftaincy crisis. Ondo state government reaffirms dedication to economic prosperity through self-reliance. And from the foreign scene, rescue efforts underway after dam disaster in Ukraine leaves many trapped.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Timileyin Faladi. President Bola Tinubu is meeting with the governors of the 36 states of the Federation in the Council Chamber, Abuja. This is the first meeting with the Nigeria Governors Forum, led by its chairman and governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, would be having with the president since he assumed office over a week ago. This meeting comes a few days after the president met with the governors of his ruling All Progressives Congress APC under the aegis of the Progressives Governors Forum PGF. It is expected that the fuel subsidy issue will be a top priority at the meeting. During his inaugural speech, the president made it clear that he would constantly consult stakeholders with regards to key decisions that affect the country. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Senator George Akume as the new secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF. George Akume, in the brief ceremony, which had dignitaries, including some 7 and former governors, took his oath of allegiance and oath of office. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, and the spouse of a new SGF, Mrs. Regina Akume, were also among top officials present. The ceremony comes about 5 days after the president announced the appointment of Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, as Chief of Staff. On the same day, President Tinubu also appointed Ibrahim Hassan Hadejia, a former Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, as Deputy Chief of Staff.
Do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. As Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The House of Representatives has held a valedictory session of the 9th House. In attendance at the session were former speakers Gali Nabas and Patricia Ete. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, in his final speech, commended the lawmakers for their efforts in the last 4 years, which include the passage of important legislation like PIA, Electoral Act, and others. He expressed regret that the 9th House could not pass several women-related bills that the House rejected in 2022. The next assembly will be inaugurated on Tuesday. Now, ahead of the June 13 inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, the President, Bola Tinubu, would officially meet with the lawmakers-elect across party lines tomorrow, Thursday. The invitation of the President, conveyed in an official letter to the Senate and read on the floor of the House by the Deputy Senate President, Obi Omuagege, at plenary, said the meeting between the lawmakers and the President would take place at the State House Conference Center at 2 in the afternoon. The President had initially fixed separate meetings between the All Progressives Congress and opposition lawmakers slated for Sunday and Monday. As part of ongoing efforts to find a lasting solution to the incessant crisis in the Ikare Akoko, eminent indigenes under the aegis of the Ikare Peace Think Tank Committee have charged for 2 traditional rulers of the town to work together for the progress of the ancient town. The committee said meaningful developments can only be attained in an atmosphere of peace, just as it observed that prominent sons and daughters will be eager to contribute to the quarters to grassroots development if the source is in tranquility. OSRC's Sahid Haribusala reports that the Olukare Oba Akadiri Momo and the Owali of Iyometa Ikare Oba Adeleke Adedoyin expressed their readiness to work for peaceful coexistence.
Strategically located, Ikare Akoko, the headquarters of Akoko Northeast local government area, is a viable economic nerve center, serving as a link between the southwest and northern parts of Nigeria. For some time now, the town has been engulfed in chieftaincy crisis, resulting in loss of lives and property worth millions of naira. Though the Ondo State government has set up a committee to look into the immediate and remote causes of the perennial crisis, eminent indigenes of the town, under the auspices of the Ikare Peace Think Tank Committee, are now poised to get involved with a view to making rancor and acrimony things of the past. The group's first port of call, with members including the senator-elect for Ondo North, Jide Ikmishagba, and Ondo State Head of Service, Kayode Ogundele, was the Olukare's palace for an interface with the monarch and his chiefs.
We, the indigenes, the illustrious son, we came together. We believe that Ikare should be restored back to its lost glory. Because of this crisis, Ikare, that is known for commercial activity, has been deserted. So we thought that we should put an end to this. If Ikare is destroyed, we cannot be talking about monarchs again, because Ikare must exist before we have monarchs.
The two sides also took a peep into history and examined the dimension of the crisis from the past, suggesting possible ways out of the age-long crisis. According to the sons and daughters of Ikare, the two monarchs have huge roles to play in cementing the fiber of unity among their subjects.
Ikare will develop, move forward, and not evolve. It is one Ikare. Development, Ikare. So white paper kan ìjọba ṣe is still the same white paper. Èsì white paper méjì sẹ́ta, and ìyímífọ̀ iná lẹ́yìn white paper náà ọwọ́ alẹ́ ọ̀gbìn mẹ́ta Ìkàrẹ́. So ìjọba pẹ́ Ìkàrẹ́.
Responding, the Olukare Oba Akadiri Momo, who commended the indigenes for rising to the occasion, vowed to embrace dialogue to resolve the issue once and for all.
I'm very happy, and I know better things are coming in.
After hours of deliberation, the Ikare Peace Think Tank Committee then moved to the palace of Owali of Iyometa Ikare with the same message of peace. The group described Ikare as one indivisible entity, even as they insisted that all well-loving indigenes must work for the overall progress of their place of birth.
We have to enlighten our people. Okay? We have to remove all kind of bias and prejudice in them.
The Owali of Iyometa Ikare, Oba Adeleke Adedoyin, said rumor mongering has been fanning the embers of discord, urging indigenes to shun side talks but embrace cohesion.
Gbogbo iná yìí ṣẹlẹ̀ pé ó ká tó kù. Ẹ ká bú afọ́, àkágbọ́.
The Ikare Peace Think Tank Committee, in its desire to stamp out rancor and acrimony, is built to meet other critical stakeholders, including youth groups, as well as public transport drivers, in the days ahead. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
As part of efforts to increase self-reliance among youths, Ondo State Government has trained 130 individuals in fashion designing. The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on Youth Empowerment, Mr. Lincoln Ojo, said the participants were trained to unlock their full potentials. Again, OSRC's Sahid Aribusala reports that the latest beneficiary of the Ondo State Youth Empowerment Program were equipped with sewing machines.
The Ondo State Youth Empowerment Program has been at the center of transforming youths with life-changing skills in different areas. The latest of such transformation is this graduation ceremony for 130 youths. After 2 months of intensive training in fashion designing, these youths have been found worthy to graduate and commence the next phase of their entrepreneurship journey. Top government officials registered their presence, including the state deputy governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who was represented by Mr. Segun Omojua.
SANCON is committed to youth empowerment in the state, and it's one of the beautiful ideas captured under the Redeem agenda of the state government, youth empowerment. And what you have witnessed there today, the training of our youth in various vocations, is an example of what the governor is doing for Ondo State.
The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Akeredolu on Youth Empowerment, Mr. Lincoln Ojo, commended the youths for standing the intensive training. Lincoln enjoined them to go ahead and impart society positively.
We reflect upon the transformative power of knowledge and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Over the past 2 months, you have been equipped with valuable skills, insights, and experiences that will undoubtedly shape your future endeavors. The knowledge you have gained during the training has armed you with a unique set of tools, ones that can be used to transcend boundaries, overcome obstacles, and create meaningful impact.
Other officials, including Ondo State Government partner for the program, German Corporation for International Cooperation, also tasked the youths to stay ahead of their peers.
I also want to congratulate the graduates too for putting in the extra effort to go through the vocational training.
Looking at the present level of technology, application of technology to fashion design makes a difference. Definitely, the cut is different now by the use of pattern drafting, and definitely it's quite different from freehand sketching, and that's what we introduced them into. Anywhere in the world, at least as far as African attire is concerned, let me see, they can compete anywhere.
Some of the beneficiaries of the empowerment program reflect on their journey so far.
Journey into learning this training, it started. I have a desire that I need to have a skill to learn, and before this period I've been looking for, I'm going to get money to learn it. At the point of that, I saw this opportunity where I can be incubed by Ondo State government, and I really want to appreciate the governor, our SSA for youth empowerment, for this opportunity I've been given to learn. Personally, I learned mail designs. Apart from that, we were taught, they gave us a final project where we must sew what we wear that day. So the clothes I'm putting on was sewn by me, because that's the final project we did.
It was a great idea, though. I wasn't even interested in at the first place, but along the line that I started going, so actually the thing started, I started getting interest in it, and then I thank God, today I've learned a lot, and then I got some experience on it. I pray God helps me. I'll make sure I get a shop for myself.
The youths were further empowered with startup kits like sewing machines to enable them have a smooth takeoff. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News. The need for better representation of female journalists in the media has been stressed
a cross-section of media experts reached the conclusion at a one-day sensitization organized for female journalists in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Omoriola Humbeji reports that the training with the theme Gender Mainstreaming in the Media was convened by an advocate of Report Women, Female Reporters Leadership Program, Olufisoye Adeniton.
Regarding media as a profession, research shows women are underrepresented in media ownership, information production, and in decision-making positions, while gender inequality are even more blatant in media content. Gender mainstreaming in the media is the focus of the training that brought together female reporters, editors, journalists, and media professionals from various organizations in Ondo State. Declaring the workshop open, Special Advisor to Governor Akeredolu on Gender, Olamide Falana, challenged female journalists to engage in in-depth reportage to enhance credibility.
Female journalists have a very key role to play to uphold investigative tenets of the profession, not with our cultural bias in mind, but with our mindset of the current realities and future projections.
Other dignitaries at the event, including Director News and Current Affairs Department of Osrc Media Group, Olanike Busari, while hailing the courageous and good representation of the convener, Mrs. Olufisoye Adeniton, harped on the need for women to be more professional at the discharge of their duties.
Stereotype, wherever you find yourself, let's try to work and eradicate that. The women that are here, I know men respect them, men reach, and even in the state. Because anywhere they stand body and they are protecting the profession.
We want to appeal to spouses of our female journalists that they should try as much as possible continue to support our colleagues who happens to be their wives. It is not easy to be female journalists.
More Norwegians come up with such beautiful programs so that we all will be able to have the best. I know that this program is going to be highly impactful.
When you're talking about increasing women participation in all types of media outlets, and it means focusing on issues, focusing on experiences and interest of women, not just women.
The angle for reporting is important. And it's difficult for someone who is not a journalist to train a professional journalist on reporting. So that's why I am very happy that this is coming up today.
Guest lecturer Professor Titi Fola Adebayo highlighted the factors responsible for female underrepresentation in the media profession, to include gender stereotyping, traditional and cultural barriers, gender-based violence and harassment, as well as insufficient gender training.
Addressing these considerations and challenges requires a comprehensive and multi-stakeholder approach involving the following: media organizations, regulatory bodies, journalists, civil society and government agencies to promote gender mainstreaming in Nigerian print and broadcast media. And even our curriculum must also address it.
Convener of the program, Olufisoye Adeniton, was privileged to be selected among the 12 female journalists for the Champion Building edition of Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism 2023 Report Women, Female Reporters Leadership Program. She said the essence of the training is to collaborate experts to challenge stereotype, break barriers, and advocate a more equitable media industry.
Women are not being represented adequately in the media. And we discovered that the women's sources also is depreciating and declining on a daily basis, as well as the number of female journalists in the newsroom is also depreciating as well. So we felt there is need for gender mainstreaming and to call the consciousness of our female journalists especially to the need for them to be intentional in reporting the issue of women.
She wants participants to make judicious use of the key points highlighted by the guest lecturer to better society and project issues pertaining to women. Omoriola Humbeji, Osrc News.
The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the February 25 election, Peter Obi, has broken his silence of the much criticized subsidy removal. He said rather than go through a forceful removal, he would have provided various relieving policies to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. Obi, a former Anambra State governor, spoke at the Court of Appeal venue of a presidential election petitions tribunal. Obi said he was actually in support of the removal of subsidies right from the President Goodluck Jonathan era when he was a member of the economic management team.
Right from the time I was a member of Jonathan's economic management team, I've consistently maintained that we need to remove subsidy, because for me it's organized crime. People were just stealing the resources of the country, and that crime has to stop. And I showed my own position in empirical data to show that the amount of fuel we consume is totally far ahead what we're supposed to consume. I showed it in data, comparing with countries like Pakistan, and it's very clear. So I maintained about its removal. The difference is that I believe it should be removed with conditions, and that condition has to be applied. If I was involved, I would have shown in empirical statistical data how much we are going to save, where we are going to apply it, the gains for the people, so they can, just like I said all throughout my campaign.
And now to the foreign scene. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the breach of the Nova Kakhovka Dam in the southern Ukraine has left hundreds of thousands of people without drinking water. At least 100 people in the Russian-controlled town are trapped, and thousands of wild animals have been killed after the dam collapsed. Rescue efforts are underway to free people trapped by the floods. And that's our package tonight on the news at 7. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Timileyin Falade.